we're going to start with our opening activity.
So today's process was day 6 of our 6 days of professional learning for our prototypers. So we designed the day beginning with 4 teams of teachers, and so among themselves they designed a lesson that really followed the complex think, pair, share collaborative discussion protocols in their classroom, and then the other teachers again would collect that data using the tool. So that's how we started our day.
And then it's going to go around and you get a chance to respond. And
the idea of the prototype is that we wanted to be able to collect some data along the way. So every time we designed one of the professional learning days for the prototypes, after each segment we thoughtfully modeled after what we experience when we go to Cali, questions that would really kind of capture the extent of their professional learning.
Think about something that just really struck you with what you noticed.
The strategy I used this morning with the kids is learning centers. And each student in a group of 4 has a specific role. As they know their role, they either listen to a specific piece of text, or they read a specific piece of text, or watch some kind of a video. And during that time, they take notes only on the role that they're doing.
In proportional representation, the number of representatives is determined by the population.
We set out to create a vibrant learning environment whereby students have regular opportunities to engage in academic collaborative discussions with one another.
And he would also describe his freedom as a pain in his soul, because it awakened him to all these evils in the world they wouldn't know of if he didn't read in the first place.
Then it's like pretty confusing because these boys seem to have like a mind of their own. So they had parents, and those parents were discriminate colored people. Then why do they help Douglas? They're like 50-50.
The conversations that I'm hearing really come back to the whole idea of what you saw and with the girl and the 2 boys.
You know, how do we know it's working? What's the impact in the classroom? What's the extent of that?
Having those discussions that go deeper and seeing if the students are in fact building on each other's conversation, or if they're just having parallel conversations.
Make sure, I'm hearing lots of contrasting, but make sure also explain the problem. How did each one potentially cause a problem as they were working things out? So we're not looking at how they're same, but we're looking at how they are different. So we're looking at the differences. We're contrasting.
Is any of this making a difference? Are the students actually getting it? Are the shifts that the teachers are making, and particularly the shift of going from the sage on the stage to releasing that cognitive load to the students and allowing them to have and struggle through that productive struggle of conversation, is that working?
I would like to add to Jared's idea that they will also want more power that would be shared.
Because if they're all the same, nobody will win like us if they don't understand.
The classrooms are very diverse, from students who are in special education, English learners, gifted and talented, and it's really even the playing field for a lot of the students to have those opportunities to share ideas, build on ideas, and the classrooms that have done it regularly, it's just become a natural part of the classroom instruction.
Today's lesson was a culminating activity for the whole Cali experience. We were able to put all the things that we have worked with our students on and we're training them for, and get to see them really show those strategies, show that they were able to have these collaborative conversations and build upon each other. And it was great to just see that they were able to really do that without much teacher prodding or prompting, and they were able to complete the task.
No, remember the group who was standing up for the other victim? I saw the other boy had a different face, like it was sad or something. Like, it felt bad for me.
We had our teachers self-select a group that they would want to collaboratively design a complex think, pair, share collaborative conversation activity in the classroom. One or two host teachers would facilitate that activity with their students, and then the rest of that team would collect data using a conversation analysis tool.
If you don't process, you diminish the significance of the learning. So in order to have that real significant learning growth, whether it's in a kindergartner or in our Cali prototypers, we want that learning that they're doing to be significant, to really matter, and to be lasting.
Students who are given more opportunities to rehearse language orally in these collaborative conversations, we've seen writing improve along with the oral language.
Each state had only one vote, even though if it was a small state or a big state, like Rhode Island was a small state and it had only one vote, like Massachusetts and each other state.
This morning, we had some wonderful host teachers that opened their doors to their classrooms, and their children were sharing their collaborative conversations.
This afternoon, coming back with my colleagues, gave me an opportunity to take a deeper look at what took place in the classrooms today. And we really noticed that through conversations and the Cali strategies, it focused on scaffolding the lessons. We talked about grouping, how we put kids into their groups.
They also had the chance to have some of those discussions, to look at the data and have conversations before they collected the data as well as after, just as time allowed and opportunity allowed.
I was just elated because I did not know that they were going to grasp it, and they did. And then they taught it to each other, and they were respectful.
Then we got into our collaborative discussion protocol, and so each of the groups had about 20 minutes to just debrief. And we gave them a few guiding questions, but we really wanted it to be what did they notice about the impact of instruction? What did they notice about how students were taking turns and building on one another's ideas? What did we notice about the ways in which the students were learning the content?
So we wanted to make sure that for our text, which was who wrote the U.S. Constitution, like for them to really understand the branches of government and why they were established.
And yet every kid did it. They took that grade level text and they made sense of it without our help. And that was incredible.
You're like, okay, remember to put on like your kindergarten cap, you know, because we're seeing it from the older kids' perspective.
And we know that that success happens when you listen into those conversations and you hear the students talking and using that academic language.
The laws were followed.
Next steps in instruction. Where do we go from here? What do we need to do? What we did was we had them just kind of jot down some notes on a poster, and then we gave them about 7 minutes per group to share out. And so each one of the groups took a turn to just kind of, just share out. What are we learning? What are next steps? What are some of the ahas that we noticed? And most importantly, that impact on student learning.
They were really committed to completing this complicated task, and even though it was challenging for them, one girl, she was talking and then she took a pause and she was like, oh, this is so much critical thinking, but then she kept going.
At the 5th grade level, students are actively engaged in collaborative group work and conversations.
These kids are actually doing this. I mean, they're actually talking to each other.
And eventually, the goal is if we do this 2 times and we keep learning and we keep reflecting, then by the time we roll it out district-wide, we should have a pretty substantial professional learning plan.